What's up, football fans? Today, we're breaking down Ohio State's dominant 38-7 win over Michigan State in their Big Ten opener. We're going to grade the Buckeyes on offense, defense, special teams, and coaching, so stick around to see where they excelled and where they can still improve. Let's start with Ohio State's offense. On paper, they put up solid numbers, outgaining Michigan State 483 to 246 yards. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. The Buckeyes opened with a great drive that was derailed by a silly, unnecessary roughness penalty from tight end Will Kachmarek. Quarterback Will Howard had a mixed day, throwing for 244 yards and 2 touchdowns, but he also tossed a bad interception and nearly had another one in the end zone. Michigan State started jumping his routes, exposing a key weakness in Howard's play. He's locking onto his primary reads a bit too much. But let's give a big shout-out to running back TreVeyon Henderson. His pass blocking was phenomenal, picking off blitzers on 2 key touchdown passes. That's the type of gritty work that often goes unnoticed. Henderson and Quinton Judkins continued their balanced ground attack, combining for over 120 yards on the day. And we can't forget about freshman sensation Jeremiah Smith. He continues to be the Buckeyes' game-changing phenom, though Emeka Egbuka's 2 drops were concerning. Egbuka still had a productive day, with 7 catches, 96 yards, and a touchdown on a perfectly thrown pass from Howard. But the drops are something to watch. Now let's talk about Ohio State's defense. Despite the scoreline, the Buckeyes' defense still hasn't lived up to its preseason hype. For the second week in a row, they didn't force a punt until late in the second quarter. Michigan State quarterback Aiden Childs had a strong first half, throwing for 142 yards and a touchdown. But give credit where it's due. The Buckeyes still haven't allowed a second-half point all season, and they only gave up 55 yards in the second half of this game. Denzel Burke's clutch interception and 34-yard return set up a touchdown, turning the momentum solidly in Ohio State's favor. Safety Caleb Downs was a standout once again, leading the defense with 6 tackles, but the unit needs to show more consistency if they want to be a complete team come playoff time. Special teams had a bounce-back performance. After struggling the previous week, Jaden Fielding got back on track, putting all of his kickoffs into the end zone and nailing his only field goal attempt. Punt returner Brandon Innes also did a solid job, gaining 19 yards on 2 returns without any mistakes. It might not have been flashy, but in a game where mistakes can change momentum, they avoided costly errors. As for the coaching, it was another slow start for the Buckeyes. Head coach Ryan Day needs to find a way to get this team firing on all cylinders from the opening whistle. They did eventually settle in, but if they're aiming for a playoff run, they'll need to show more dominance from start to finish. The talent is there, but the consistency is still lacking. Was this game fun to watch? Jeremiah Smith continues to be must-see TV. And there was a brief scare when Howard seemed to go down with an injury, but he returned quickly. It was also nice to see Michigan State honor former coach Mark D'Antonio for his years of success. Michigan State didn't do themselves many favors in this game, especially with 2 costly red zone turnovers. Chili's showed promise early, but he got sloppy when the pressure was on. The Spartans' lack of experience, especially on the offensive line, really showed against a more talented Buckeye squad. Lastly, the officiating. There was one missed call that stood out. Ohio State's Tywone Malone clearly grabbed Aiden Childs' face mask, leading to a fumble that was recovered by Ohio State. That could have been a big turning point for Michigan State, but it didn't get called. Still, the refs did make the right call on overturning a fumble by Henderson later in the game. So, there you have it. Ohio State gets the win, but it wasn't a flawless performance. Let me know in the comments what you think. Can the Buckeyes clean up their mistakes and make a playoff push? Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more breakdowns of all the biggest games.